Welcome back to another episode of the Blitz Break. I'm your host, Phil Rasmussen, and we are back with another conversation and the usual suspects of a crew here. As always, my partner in crime, a legendary Texan rocking some brand new kicks, Mr. Buzz Howard.
Like those?
Have you back, buddy?
Like those?
Those are phenomenal.
I mean, I could just have white, but that's, me. That's right there.
I'm really proud of you. I'm very excited. It's going to be a good end of the year, and I think your mortgage updates and your mortgage wisdom is just skyrocketed by the shoes that are on your feet. So
there you go.
It's all about improvement. Love it, man. Well, our social media guru, networking specialist extraordinaire, and our resident go-to for pro tips, Julie Shroyer, welcome back.
Glad to be back. It's
and
been a
beauty.
while.
And beauty.
Oh, yes, Buzz. Thank you.
Check out that jacket.
That jacket
Fashion
is phenomenal.
icon.
Thank you.
Those are real diamonds.
Yes.
Just much more so than the Folex conversation I've been having about the 19-year-old Rolex I wore.
Oh. All right.
Not real, right?
Okay.
Those look very real. Oh. And welcome back, the publisher, owner of Sac Real Producers, and another networking specialist extraordinaire.
Thank you.
Back for another appearance and a chance to kickstart what's going to be a fun series of things in 2026.
Yeah, for
Katie
sure.
MacDiarmid, welcome back.
Thank you. Super happy to be here. Last time was so much fun. I was thrilled to be invited back. So thanks, guys.
We are grateful, and as I said before the show, we're just going to do our best to keep you and Julie talking, and Buzz and I will just stay the heck out of the way for this episode. But I wanted to kick it off for us to just we've seen a couple of your networking events since our last episode. How is the kind of end of 26 looking for Sac Real Producers, and what you set out to do and where you see it heading into 26?
Yeah, we've had a fun time since we last met. We had our first ever in Sacramento Real Producers Awards Gala. That was such a good time. I have to say, I knew it was coming for years. It's kind of a model that Real Producers does around the country. And I knew it was time. We've been in Sacramento almost 6 years now. And it was time for us to do our very first, full black tie gala, voting awards, all of the things. But I was nervous about pulling it off, and it was just phenomenal. The only hiccup was we sold out way faster than we expected to. Usually our events are around 300, and we sold 325 tickets within the first week. So we had to do some scrambling for capacity, and we will not make that a mistake again with our next awards gala. But gosh, it was fun. It was at the Crocker Art Museum. Everybody had a great time despite some, rain hiccups, and had some fun agents get some well-deserved awards. So that was a super iconic moment for Real Producers. At least for me, it felt like a big milestone and moment in memory here in Sacramento. I think everybody had a great time. I know everybody's already asking me if we're going to do it annually. I'll leave that for, another announcement. At another time.
TBD.
But I'll keep everybody in suspense there. But it was really fun. And then we just had our holiday happy hours, which is our October, November, and December features. Just celebrated them for the last 3 issues of 2025. Brought all of them out together with all of our partners. Did a little preferred partner goal setting networking event as well. So it's been a fun end to 2025, and lots and lots of plans for 2026.
That's right. Well, I know I've thoroughly enjoyed our opportunity to jump in and get involved with Sac Real Producers, as Big Valley Mortgage is going into our 2026 plans in future, and being able to go there and be in the same environment with Julie and your team, and dragging along the networking is not something that you want to do. You want to walk into a place where everybody wants to network.
High
and that's
energy.
exactly
Absolutely.
what that's been. So we're excited. I was super impressed with the event. And I have to admit, I think your story about being overbooked, you held serve. I thought you were just trying to keep me out.
Oh,
and so
I know. Shoot, I didn't even remember that personally affected you guys.
Yes. I would love to speak as an attendee to that event.
please.
And I have attended a lot of events in the greater Sacramento region. That, Katie, it was so classy. And you may have think there was some shortcomings. I didn't see any. I mean, it was so organized and first class. And I know you had to contend with the rain.
Yeah.
And you just pivoted so perfectly. And I think everybody there had the most amazing time. And it was one of the most premier events I've ever attended. I got to tell
Wow.
you, it was
That's saying something.
I'm telling you, it was amazing. The venue was beautiful. It was very impactful. People are still talking about it.
Thank you for saying that. It's funny because it did feel like the night, nobody else knows all of the things behind the scenes, but it was a really emotional week the week before because we had a lot of other plans in place that the rain just completely ruined. And so there was a lot of scrambling and a lot of stress the week before, which is to be expected when you're throwing big events and whatnot. But it means a lot to hear that wasn't felt by anybody else. So happy to carry it myself if it means that everybody else.
Crocker is an iconic location anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a stunning backdrop.
Stunning.
Really, really felt nice. And that is, we are continuing, speaking of 2026, we are continually trying to raise the bar with where we host our events. It's just part of the connect, elevate, and inspire part of the tagline of Real Producers is we want to take this core group of real estate agents and all of the business owners that work with all of the people that move into the Sacramento region. They are the influencers of the Sacramento region. And so what we want to do is bring them around 4 times a year to all of the coolest places that Sacramento has to offer. Well, Sacramento, El Dorado Hills, and Placer County. Bring them to the new venues, bring them to the iconic spots to get together so that they are re-inspired about how cool this region is. And they can then talk to all of their clients and homeowners who live in this region and remind them how many cool things there are to do. It just elevates everybody's love of this area and region. So, so that is a goal. So I was thrilled to get to have our gala at the Crocker Art Museum.
Yeah. The way that you set it up and having kind of almost like multiple spots to connect and hang out, I thought was really cool because it gave people an opportunity to kind of circulate and
move around.
And I think it's an example of the first time we're usually very nervous about the execution because it's the unknown. And you pulled, like to Julie's point, pulled off a wonderful event, and now you're able to polish and refine bit by bit. And I think that's it's a thing that Buzz and I are working with our team. We're doing 4 events next year for our clients, for our loan officers to deliver family friendly, fun things of value. And each time you do one, you can get just a little bit better or a lot better. But you can't get better unless you're doing them. So
for sure,
getting it off the ground means, and starting there, to Julie's point. I understand why everybody wants to do it annually because it was a great time.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
It's very, very cool. I will give you a chance to ask a couple more on that because you were there, and if you have any more comments or questions on the event, because I think that was great.
Yeah, I do. It was so magical, Katie, because that Sacramento Real Producers in general is so different because it is the top 500. Everybody's aligned. I mean, in their sales systems, their disciplines, it's a different caliber. And it's so fun. That evening, we were all celebrating each other. There was no groups everybody was kind of one. It was just a magical, beautiful evening. And I want to just say that about it. And I continue to push Sacramento Real Producers because I think it's an amazing concept.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I mean, one of the things that I was nervous about and really drug my feet was the whole concept of an awards gala, because Real Producers at its core, at least for me, the culture of an abundance mindset and very celebratory and collaborative over competition is my heartbeat for Real Producers. So I was like, isn't this the antithesis of that, to have an awards gala? So I was really nervous that it would bring out some of the not so great sides of people feeling competitive.
Of the competitive
right. Like I didn't want to feed into that, but it is part of the model of Real Producers. And so my hope was, in the concept of an awards gala, that really everyone there is celebrating the fact that they are the best of the best in the region. And the true reward, and this is, I think I said this at the event, but I think everyone in the Real Producers group, in that top 1% to 2%, I know it because they say it to me when we're doing our one-on-one interviews and whatnot. The true reward of your job, the true award, is personal and whatever is meaningful to you, whatever your why is. So being able to provide meaningful income for your family, being able to get to do, serve clients and do a really good job helping families get into homes. Those are the true awards. And everybody knows their own numbers and the paycheck that they actually bring home. And so the voting and the titles of these engraved awards, that's like a fun extra community celebration thing, and giving everybody a chance to vote. It was true voting style. I told people I am not looking because I am going to have an ulcer about this. I am so nervous. So I didn't pay attention to who was winning. Marissa kept that behind closed doors till the end because I got lots of texts. Hey, for real, tell me, where am I at in this? And I didn't want to, give things away with my face or voice or whatever. I just was like, can we not worry too much? Even though I'm asking you to worry and vote and care, I also want to keep the perspective of everybody here is truly winning already.
That, I have to say, that not only does that make sense to me, I think to reaffirm why that's worth doing in my mind is that a lot of producers don't love self-promotion. They know that they need to do it. And so when you facilitate an opportunity for them to be promoted that comes organically and doesn't feel like, I have to create the ad to post the thing on social because I'm supposed to, because I need to validate, that there's a lot of value in that for people who have a discomfort with self-promotion.
Right. It at least was done for them. We gave them their voting packages and
it's something to inspire them to be a little bit better within their activities within the network as well, right? Yeah. When you start to realize the voting components and what goes into it, if you have that desire internally, it's helping you raise the bar of how you operate. So I think all those things are good. And like you said, in any competitive environment, there's a chance for things to be drawn out, but most of the time that the dust settles in the right place. So I think, our fears are usually greater than the actual outcome of those negatives.
Yeah.
And so that it was awesome to see. Before I give you a couple questions, Bose, what out of 26 was your greatest? I think the event with the awards gala was a big one, but greatest surprise from the year, and maybe most, kind of proud accomplishment of this happened and I expected it to. We set out to do this to start the year. So the goal you hit and maybe the surprise for the year with your overall 2025 vision.
Gosh.
Aside from getting us on board, which I know was the only
There
accomplishment.
that was the pinnacle.
Pinnacle.
I will have to say, I think we've talked for like 4 years before you did officially come on board.
No, we were members at one point.
Buzz
That's
plays
true.
hard.
At the very beginning.
So getting you back?
He plays hard to get.
Yeah, I felt like you needed to chase me a little.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine.
But no, we were members.
Yes.
And then now coming back.
Yeah.
And we're really excited. But
yeah, so that was one of the greatest accomplishments for sure.
Pinnacle of success.
Yes,
sure.
Thank you. No, I mean, I know we just talked about it, but I have to say I went into 2025 telling everybody we are throwing this awards gala at the end of 2025. And the leap of faith is you have to tell everybody to save the date before you have a lot of things in place. And that is always, thankfully, over the last 5 to 6 years, I've started to trust the process. I remember our very first event that we were saying we were going to throw in October of 2020. I was literally sick to my stomach the whole time trying to get the words out. No, we're really going to do this. But so a little bit more faith in the process this time, but it still was, I went into the year knowing this is happening at the end of the year. This is our big finish line that we're headed towards and getting all the pieces in place. So I would say that is the thing I am the proudest of on a professional level, is having pulled that off, having everybody, for the most part, have a great time. And yeah, I would say also year over year, we're growing every year here in Sacramento, and that every year I wonder, is that still going to be true the next year? So growing in impact, growing in partnership, growing in influence, and all of those pieces. There's different ways to measure all of them, but I do feel like this was a big year. I also was in 2024 doing 2 markets, and that was personally a bigger toll. So I headed into 2025 with some expectation to be able to be a lot more focused here in Sacramento, and that was able to be the case, and I really was happy about that. So that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes that's what we have to do, narrow down, make
the
choices
scope, for sure. Got any questions, big guy, before we switch?
I think, wasn't it you and I joined at the same time?
I think so.
We joined that first time.
Yes.
I was just thinking, when was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Was it right at the beginning?
You were the one who told me you have to talk to Buzz.
So
Yes.
let's go ahead and put the truth on the table. He got himself kicked out.
Yeah,
and
they didn't want
I
me in
have
there.
You can
kicked
share the
people out,
story of
but
what
not
you did
Buzz.
to get us kicked out long before.
No, I think the difference is before you had, point people trying to engage in the network that maybe weren't totally understanding it. And I think you and I have connected more now, and I think you fully understand it and are leaning in, and Phil obviously plays a big part
That
in
is a
too.
true statement.
Yeah.
Thank you for throwing people under the bus. Way to go.
Say any names.
No. No, but I am really excited about all the things that we're doing together.
Yeah. Well, that's what, to your point, strategic relationships is the backbone of Real Producers. And you were saying it earlier, when you get people who are highly motivated, strategic, have a lot of relationships themselves, it just, what did you say earlier? 10
1 plus 1
X's,
equals 11.
Yeah, 1 + 1 = 11. I love that saying. And I think that truly is the case. We talked about that at our most recent partners training and goal setting session that we had for all of our preferred partners. When you are in a room with a lot of people who are having that drive to execute at a high level, and they're willing to put their minds together and say, what else can we do with your talents and your talents? It 10X's it, and you go further. And I really I appreciate you guys. I have felt that from the beginning of our most recent collaborations, just the vision, the excitement to say, what else can we do, is really it's phenomenal. And it's exactly what I love to see. So.
Well, I've always followed Julie. She is the conductor.
She is the original 10Xer.
She is the original 10Xer. I like
true.
that.
Oh.
We get a T-shirt.
Thank you, Buzz.
But I
That's
follow
You gotta be very
her.
careful on how you do the Xers there. Buzz.
I know. Not 3X, just the 10X. But she's always been, her and I have been friends for I don't know how long.
Long time.
Long time.
You deserve an
But-
award for that alone.
But
I know.
if she gets behind something, I get behind it too.
So true.
She's just that kind of connector, influencer. So
Yeah.
thank her.
Sweet. Oh,
I
that's
absolutely-
Seriously,
I absolutely
I'm
agree
being,
with that.
I'm being totally honest.
Yep.
If Julie's involved, I have to get involved.
sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think you said it, or abundance. You said that abundance mindset. I think when you're at that group, they all share that. It's not a scarcity, like, is he going to take my business if I'm here, or if I share this or whatever. They're all kind of have that abundance mindset. And I think that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
If I were to name one thing, I think it's that, that they're all comfortable in their abilities and how they can add to the group and how we're all going to rise together. I think that commonality is what makes Real Producers different.
You have taught me a lot in that area, Julie. Like, to your point, Buzz, we met fairly early on. We were, fledgling. We were newbies and just, had this baby concept, but we met, and I was very taken with you just as like a friendship and really enjoyed you. But I also, you were one of the first ones to really model from the partner side of things, this just absolute open book, open hands. Hey, meet this person and have you talk to this person. And I remember I believed in the concept, but I hadn't had that many people yet fully understand and embrace and be excited about it, as excited as I was. And I remember thinking with you, like, man, she really loves this. Why does she love this so much? Like, I'm excited that she loves it, but people haven't really believed. I haven't proven a whole lot yet. And I was very, like, you kind of paved that way of, we don't have to be skeptical. We don't have to be scared or stingy, and you just opened, I think you opened your little black book for me of, you should meet this person and talk to this person, and vouching for me before I had really shown you much. And I am really thankful for that. It was a big, big difference maker for me early on. So.
Are you blushing?
I don't even know what to say. I'm flattered. I will tell you.
We can echo the same thing from the jump, Katie, as far as for the Blitz Break podcast.
Absolutely.
From the jump, like, once we got going, the getting, that's how we were able to get, connected with you right away. Julie has
several people,
zero hesitation. The minute the networking opportunity comes in, you jump in and you do it, and you bring great people together. And that is, I think as a leader in my career and a coach, one of the most frustrating things is when you want it more than the person you're trying to support, right? When you want success for them more than they do, or when you want to help them grow more than they do. Like, they want it, but they don't want to do the work. Nothing is more inspiring than when you have an idea that you believe in or that will work, and then you bring a group of people who get behind that and make it better and, bring that vision to life. And that's, Julie, you are a pro at that.
We used to always wonder, how did she hit so many events in one day?
It does seem like you have a body double.
She is everywhere. And I'll tell you, one day, do you remember the time her and I went all the way down to Fresno, and we had meetings in Fresno, and then we started our way back, and we hit Madera, and then we hit something else. And then we wound up out at the lake.
Yes, with Michelle Zaragoza.
With you were talking
KW.
About your trauma, and now I understand.
And
you rode in the car with this guy for that long.
Well, we hit all these events during the day, and it was an all-day affair. And I used to wonder, how does she do this? Okay, so I found out. So I'm driving, right? And we'd hit an event. She was all over the place, taking pictures, connecting people. We'd get back in the car, and this is her.
Yeah, I bet. I was the extroverted crush.
I would look at her and I'd say, "Hey, Julie, did you?" And she would be asleep. What? Like this, and and I was going, okay, now I know how she does this.
Oh, I believe it. My family knows this. I get home from the Real Producers events, and I am like a cocoon in my bed. It's like recharge after the extroverted, thing.
Yes.
And I truly am extroverted. I'm charged up by that. I love those spaces. So it's not that I don't, but you just have.
Oh, it's an exhaustion. Absolutely.
Sure. It's almost like recharging.
Yeah. 100%.
Little robot, plug it back in.
Yeah.
But we've had some really fun times.
We have had some great times.
Yeah.
I think how I kind of do it, a little insider, is when I go to an event, I'm very intentional with trying to meet 3 people. And once I meet 3 people that I don't know, then I know. Well, not out, Buzz, but I am if I'm going to cover. And at that time, I think I was working with you on partnerships, so there was like 5 different brokerages that I had to be present at. So I had to be very organized and intentional with my time. Smart. So I would try to meet, a lot of the decision makers, and once I did that, I would go to the next one. So
I love that.
Yeah.
But there's something that you do well, and I feel like it's an important thing to highlight for even top producers. Networking is not necessarily a skill that a lot of people put a lot of time and energy to, like prospecting, selling, running a business. But part of networking is getting into a comfort zone socially and and you've mentioned this before, you have a few maybe questions or things that you're ready to cover and talk about, and like kind of cracking through the ice to get you to relax and start to just be natural starts with kind of having a plan going into it to get yourself talking. I see a lot of people go to events and there's no plan and there's no comfort, no real conversation starting kind of list they have. And you can tell that they don't have...
They stick with their safety net and their maybe 2-minute elevator pitch, and it's not organic.
And so that conversation doesn't evolve, right? Like it just kind of stays at like a very superficial high by, and those you end up seeing, they move on. No one sticks. There's no personal like sharing of stories. And I think people struggle on the oversharing versus not being conversational and having a plan to get yourself comfortable. Do either of you have advice on that you want to share as far as like, how do you go in from a conversation perspective so that you feel comfortable and confident? Hey, these are the things that I can share about myself tonight to kind of keep a conversation, or questions to ask people.
Yeah, I might start with the opposite, not thinking about what to share about yourself, but I do think that working on your own genuine curiosity about people is it's hard because it's less of a plan and more of a philosophy of like, I need to be a person who just genuinely is interested in other people and not so hyper focused on, can I get their business? What can I do to get their business? Or how can I convince them? It's like just going into those spaces. And that's why I think like Real Producers is a tool, and the stories that we tell is a tool, not in an inauthentic way, but that is truly what connects people to each other is their stories. And so if you have a little bit of an insight on somebody's story and what is important to them, not to use that as like a shtick, but read it first, become even more curious about them and have some curiosity to like, I don't know. That's the only tip I can give. I think.
I love it. And I totally agree.
Totally agree with that.
And I think the only reason I say the sharing part that I think is interesting is that usually during a conversation you will get asked a question, and whether or not you have something
to say
that makes the person feel like you're engaging is how I see a lot of people fumble on that, where they're afraid of like oversharing or making it about them, and so then they don't really say anything that the person can engage with back, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Being prepared to do both. I agree. Being a question asker and kind of always knowing how to circle back to a question is a skill, we all, either have or work on. But I observe a lot, and I notice those where you ask someone a question and you're like, I have nowhere to go with that answer. It's very... kind of end of conversation kind of answer.
Yeah, that's true.
And then people who never ask questions, and you're like, so like, I think you usually have a few that you go in, right?
Yeah. And I think, so Real Producers was a gold mine for me, because before I would have social media to learn a little bit about Phil or Buzz or Katie. I know about your family because I see you on social media. So that's a step ahead of most, to do a little research before you go to an event. And then when you launched Real Producers, I could actually read like, what is that agent's passion? What drives that agent? I mean, that for me is really impactful. But I think like a door opener, just kind of take people networking is very uncomfortable for most people. So to take them like off their guard, I'll be like, if you're wearing a watch that I would recognize, or shoes, or you had like a logo from a golf club, I would say, "Oh, are you a golfer?" And then their eyes light up, because typically they are if they're wearing. And then that starts the whole conversation.
Right.
Or, "Oh my God, that's a beautiful dress," or "Your hair is amazing. Like, what kind of products do you use?" Like, just something to get them to talk and take them off of the defense has worked for me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome too, being able to be observant, right? That comes with a little bit of being comfortable enough to be observant. I think some people that struggle with it, they almost lose the ability to observe because they're so in their own like anxieties and discomfort.
Yeah.
You
And
can have a drink too, but if you have a drink before,
that helps.
That's true.
Or
And
two,
also,
or three.
I would say that's where relationships come in too. Like, have a buddy.
Yeah.
Go with
Yes, that's
go
a
with
great
somebody
idea.
that has the
A
same
wingman.
goal as you. A wingman.
Yes.
It's just like dating. We actually made that joke at the partners training thing, is like, it's just like dating. And you can't see him at one event and then not talk to him for 4 months and think
So-
that the next time you're going to be further along.
Right.
So I have a whole philosophy around this that is, I think that a lot of people on their sales training, they talk about always be closing, always be asking for the business. And there is a time for asking for the business. But I am a true believer that you don't ask for the business until you've earned the business. And there's some real true signs of that you've earned the right. And it's not what a lot of people think. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you need a shirt for tonight. You go over to Nordstrom's, you walk in, little lady comes out and she goes, "Hi, welcome to Nordstrom's. Can I help you?" What's the first thing that everybody
I'm just looking.
immediately says?
just looking.
Yep.
"No, thank you. I'm just shopping. Thank you." Humans and animals of all sizes and shapes have a force field around them. And that's why you all almost instinctively go, "No, thank you." And you're pushing them out. It's a whole philosophy. That's why cattle can be herded. Horses can be herded. There's a force field. And I think that everybody's force field, especially in our industry, is exceptionally strong when they see someone, let's say a loan officer, walking towards a realtor. Because what does the realtor instinctively think I'm going to do? I'm going to be going, "Gosh, I'd really like to get your next loan."
Right.
Or title, or whatever the case is. So I think that they instinctively have this force field around them that you have to penetrate, and you have to get them to let down their senses.
Right.
If you ever watch, and of course I grew up in Texas. I grew up on a ranch, a farm, and you never approach a large animal just directly, because they know immediately they start backing up. They're looking for an exit. If you see the really good trainers, they actually kind of back into them. They don't look at them directly. There's all sorts of these analogies, but the really great salespeople are the ones that can come up and break that force field without making it feel uncomfortable. In other words, I don't walk up, if I'm a salesman on a car lot, I don't go, "Hey, you guys looking for a car?"
Right.
Everybody says, "Well, I'm just looking right now. Thank you very much." You don't do that. You walk up. If you're the girl in Nordstrom's, you walk up and you go, "Hi, thank you for coming in. Let me tell you how the store is arranged. The women's shops are here. You guys, we have a corner on the 4th floor that you can go and try to find something." But and then they tell you about the sales, and then they turn their back and walk away. And immediately your guard is down. So here's to finish the story, and this is a lot longer of a philosophy. But until someone asks you a question, you really haven't earned the right. If I walked up and says, "Yeah, I work with Big Valley Mortgage. It's really nice. This is a great venue," and you stop talking about, so that they're not worried about, I'm going to try to sell them.
Right.
If they ask me a question, they say, "Oh gosh, yeah, I know I know Rodney that works at Big Valley Mortgage. You know, how's Rodney doing? That's a question. I've now earned the right to have this conversation.
Right.
And so that's what you do when you say, oh my goodness, I love your hair. What product are you using? They'll probably tell you. And if they continue the story or ask you questions, what do? You stay there. But if they don't, what do you immediately understand? The conversation's over, and you're probably going to turn your shoulder to them. You're probably going to look somewhere else, say hi to someone, because you want them to not feel attacked.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of people don't get those social clues.
Yeah.
And they're scared to death because they've gone so many times, hey, I'd like to talk to you about, doing your next loan. What's the first thing they say? Oh, I'm already working with, 14 other loan officers.
Yeah.
So they're so afraid of that rejection because they never really understand how to approach that. And you're right. You can't think one night stand. You can't think, you're in a bar trying to pick. You don't go, hey, how about me and you in the parking lot? I mean, that's essentially what we're. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
It's live. That's good.
But that's not what you.
Yeah.
That's not. You don't go.
Yes,
hey, I'd like to
true.
get your next loan.
Totally. Well, you can't lead with what you do because the
Exactly.
truth is everybody is more than what they do. And if you lead with what you
Right.
do, that's all they're going to see you for. If
Yeah.
you lead with who you are, then you can connect with a human. And then what you do comes later, and that might be able to serve them in some way. But
It's always those kinds of conversations. It's the, oh my God, I love that dress. Or you're in the line, at the hors d'oeuvres. Oh my God, these are great. Did you try this or where did you get that drink?
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the things that open a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think it's kind of like anything. The more that you do it, the more confident you are when you walk into a room, which confidence is a big part of this because
Big
people
time.
are like, who is that person? Why are they so confident? I want whatever that is. And then from a sales standpoint, I always try to give it back to them. Like, I don't want them to think I want your escrow. Because with the title company, I say, who do you work with? They give me the name. Oh, they're amazing. Oh,
Right.
they're the whole package. They are a great whatever you're selling. But, I might ask them another question. Are they helping you, grow your business or what? And then I'll go into that. But I'll definitely take them off the defense right away. Like, I love her. She's amazing.
yeah.
I don't blame you for using her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Because they're going to want to ask you questions like, well, what is it that you do? And
that's typically what they
immediately,
say.
it's like the fisherman setting the hook.
Yeah.
When they ask a question, it's just, like I said, it's the car dealership.
Yep.
The moment that you say, can I look inside? There's the question. The
Yeah.
guy has the immediate, he just earned the right to stand there and talk to you about the car. Or do you have this in my size at Nordstrom's? She just earned the right to stand there. Oh, let me help you find that. Oh, you take the shirt and sticks it under the jacket and go, gosh, this really looks good. Don't you need this jacket and this belt? And all of a sudden you wanted a shirt and you walked out with $5,000 worth of clothes because she earned the right.
If you've done your due diligence also and you know a little bit about the person, then you can now question, well, I know you're very active in this. Are you doing this? And they're like, wait, wow, how does she know all that?
Yeah,
That so it can be powerful.
Well, I think the beauty of Sac Real Producers in how this builds upon itself in networking, I think one of the most common things that I saw when I was running the Coldwell Banker JV as the in-house mortgage partner was the networking. There's that intro conversation, but then there's the relationship development piece. And what I developed an analogy, oddly enough, that I called like the relationship tripod, but it was very common for me to have conversations with loan officers who would spend quite a bit of time with a partner, but not be getting anywhere with the business. And when you would ask them to kind of detail and look back on their interactions, what you'd inevitably find is they were in a pattern of certain conversations and certain topics, and they weren't building a well-rounded relationship. So you mentioned like you're more than you're what you do. So the analogy I came up with it was just you need to build a professional credibility, right? You need them to understand what you do, how you do it, the quality of the work. You need personal credibility, who you are as a person. Are you likable? Do we connect? Do I want to be around you? And then the third is some sort of an incentive motivation to be asking questions, to want to explore that business that makes you different. And I started to really hone in on this, because what I would find is the loan officer would be going and having beers every week with this partner, and they'd go watch a game, but they never switched it into a business conversation or had pushed the envelope on a reason to now work together, or they had done deals together and it went really well, but they never built any sort of a personal relationship during those transactions, so that partner never thought of them outside of, okay, they do a good job, but I don't have any personal vested interest in working together. And I think, for me, that was an important thing to help people realize you have to evaluate where you are and try to change up from one event to the next. So like you spend time talking all about family, kids, and life at one event, you want to try to introduce maybe a more professional topic just to push along. And I see that a lot with people, like after that first conversation or the second, that they're not really taking stock of what has developed and where they haven't yet put in the work. And I think Sac Real Producers provides this really wonderful platform for people to connect and
all those things,
foster all of those layers to the relationship.
I really love that you said that, and I was thinking about something as we were talking too, along those same lines of needing multiple dimensions in something for it to be well-rounded. I think we've talked about two different types of things that fall in the networking bucket. We've talked a little bit earlier, we were talking about relationships and strategic relationships and like connecting relationships. And then more recently, we've been talking about like true networking, which is little conversations and lots of high volume networking and how to do that strategically. I think you need both to really optimize a network. And this is something that we talked about with our partners. And I think it's a good topic of conversation for an end of the year, podcasting conversation, to be reflective of your year and to set goals heading into the year. I think in a network, it's important that you hone your skills for true networking, which is high volume, lots of conversations that you're trying to move the needle. But I also think that strategic relationships fall into like helping fuel your relationships in that network. And so what we talked about is being strategic, looking for both a relationship that cheers you on, like we were talking about earlier, that Julie was, for me, just somebody that pours into you and really, for whatever reason, wants to see you win. And those are like gold. You can't really like manipulate those into being, but they are out there. People like that are out there. And so it's important that you recognize a person like that when they are doing that for you, when they are cheerleading you, when they're sending you a referral, when they're connecting you to somebody. Being cognitive of showing a lot of gratitude and acknowledging that relationship. So we talked about identify a relationship like that in your life and in your business right now that does that for you. And then also, are you that for someone? And if you are not yet, be that for someone, and don't worry yourself about if you're going to get it back, in return. Just put some genuine effort into identifying, who am I going to be fuel for? Who am I in this network going to cheerlead and connect with no concern for why it benefits me, but just, I'm going to do that. And if you have those three buckets, you've crafted your networking skills and you're doing lots of high volume, mini conversations that are moving the needle. You're committed to and focused on seeing someone else win and pouring into them. And you're looking actively for who has like given you some referrals or cheered you on or fuels you in motivation, if nothing else. You know, you're looking to them and you're inspired by them and you're learning a lot from them. Acknowledge that, be thoughtful about that. If you have those three pieces, you're going to drill down so deep in that network. It's going to be really fruitful.
I think we have a book right there.
I think you're right.
I think we need to write that book.
I think you're right.
That whole like kind of combination of things that you just described from, my perspective, the thing that just jumps out right is the whole idea of giving without the expectation back. And to me, that's the most rewarding experience is when you're able to help someone else be successful and to pour into them. And the most rejuvenating piece is when you're able to connect that with people and you bring a group of people together that all think that way. That's where the magic happens. Like the magic is in, we're all looking for ways to make the other more successful, to lean into what they're, focused on or what their business is or what personally would help them. That is the epitome of teamwork, right?
Yeah.
That's super, super special. And I really, really love that as a reminder to people, because there's an inherent need of thinking before they go in, what am I going to get out of this? That clouds that ability to think like that.
Well, before we were launched in Sacramento and I was just having like preliminary conversations with people, I had never read the book, The Giver. Have you guys all read the book, The Giver?
Yes.
I mean, it's what we're talking about. It's such a good book. I'd never read it or heard of it because I wasn't in anything in this industry or sales at all prior to this. But it was actually a loan officer who I was meeting with as a potential partner who gave it to me right there. And I read it. And then he was actually our very first lending partner in Real Producers. And then he bought books for every agent that we featured that next year and just signed them and gave them as like a gift with it. And it was very impactful for me to read that book and be like, this is the foundation of Real Producers. This is where I'm gonna go. This is the culture that I want to set from the beginning. That's
super, super cool to hear. What are you excited about for 2026?
Got a couple things on the horizon. Our event lineup, just was working all day yesterday with Marissa on that. It's really shaping up, so I can't announce anything yet, but we've got some.
Marissa for doing the thing.
Oh my gosh. Marissa is my director of operations and she is just the central unit of Real Producer. She is my brain. But yeah, we're so excited about our event lineup. It's coming soon, but I can say January 22nd is our very first kickoff of the year, Real Producers Roundtable that we always do. It's going to be a blast. We're doing part 2 of a conversation we started in 2024 about building your bench and investments. We all know how to make money, but now what do we do with it? And how do we keep more of it? So we're talking tax strategies, investment, both for the real estate agents' high-end clients and how they can be kind of a counsel to them, help them know it is okay to sell their house. We've got, some experts in 1031 exchange or DST. And then also for you, yourself, as a business owner, investing in tax strategies and all of that. So I'm excited about that. We had a part 1 of that conversation in 2024. We got so much great feedback that it was people's favorite. And so we're bringing it back, part 2. So that'll be fun. And then we are also, can I say this on here? Okay. I'm like, was that the tee up?
That's the lob.
All right. Ahead. I love it. So we are going to be launching a Real Producers podcast, Beyond the Pages podcast, that will be coming out monthly.
Great name.
I know. I'm super excited about it. It's something we've been talking about for a long time. Haven't really found the right vehicles, partners, know how to just make it all synergy and work. And we're going to be doing that in conjunction with you guys here. So that is just right timing for it. So it'll be coming out monthly. in conjunction with the mailbox hit or the magazines hitting the mailboxes of everybody.
Exciting.
So that they can read the magazine, read the stories, and then have the actual agents and partner that we have featured in that issue be here together talking about more of the story and the experience behind being featured, and all those other pieces that you get a story, but it's finite. It's can only go so far in 4 to 5
words.
pages. Yeah,
That's right.
So I'm really excited to get some FaceTime, get to create that, and just dive deeper into people's stories. So. Yeah.
We're thrilled to be able to partner with you on it, be a part of it, and the opportunity to do it with you. And we know you're a natural on camera, and so the opportunity to bring that to the agents, I think that's such a great idea on your part, and I think it has such a major value add for wherever they are in their video and content creation journey.
Absolutely.
To either add to what they're doing, get them kind of through that leap of fear they need to take,
Right.
And a leap of faith through the fear, to actually get out and produce it. So I think that'll be really, really fun.
Yeah.
To see, and I can't wait.
First one dropping in January.
That's right.
We've got a great, I'm not going to reveal who, but we've got a great cover agent, real down to earth person.
Oh,
Will not say guy or gal yet, but super fun. It's going to be a great conversation.
Love that. Julie, you have anything for 26 that you're stoked about?
Working on a few things, but I want to talk about that because you do read the pages, but you don't hear the tonality or the passion,
Sure, that's a
or
good point.
maybe you can dive deeper. That is going to be so great for them, not only for their exposure, but just to really learn and understand the agent. That's
Yeah.
great. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
2026. So I joined Placer Title in May. So I've only been with them for about a half a year. So yeah, there's a lot of growth coming. You'll see a lot of announcements coming in the next few months. So that's
Oh,
exciting.
I'm excited.
Yes. And just working on different strategies on my platforms, and exciting news. And this is going to give hope for all of you that you're like, I don't want to do social media. and this is my tip for today.
Let's
Social
let it
media
fly.
tip.
Social media tip. I see so many agents, lenders just deflated because they only get 200 views. And I ask them, if you had 200 people in a room and could talk to them, that's a ton of people. Like, you got to kind of make it realistic, the number. It's still powerful that you had 200 views. But my win was, one of my goals, because I lost all those followers, was to get 10,000 followers on Instagram by year end. Well, a week ago, I only had 3,000. So I was like, there's no way in hell that I'm going to hit that. But I had one video go viral this week, 350,000 views, and I'm at 12,000.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yes. So
Wow.
my point is,
350,000 views.
yes. And it was, it had to do with hair buzz, so you won't be watching it. But it's one I would have never suspected, and it just went viral. And just like that, one video, elevated me from 3,000 to 12,000 followers, just like that, in less than 5 days. So don't give up. You just never know when that one video is going to hit.
I love that.
Wow.
That's a great
Yeah.
tip.
So
350,000 views.
that's mind blowing. And I do want to echo that just on a different story with my other podcast, the Triple J Sports podcast. We reposted some previous clips from the first season during kind of a gap while we were recording some more episodes. And one of those clips that we reposted had a similar moment, not to your level, right? But we were like, went from, a few thousand views to we had one that's at 18,000 and
That's a lot.
going, but it's a reposted clip from, one that was posted over a year ago, but for whatever reason, like,
Isn't that crazy?
it clicked, it connected,
Yeah.
the timing with, longtime friend of mine, Jesse Pruitt, who's a coach at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. But to your point, like, getting lucky, staying with it. And so we just kind of had that moment, same thing, where like, it's a great clip, but I wouldn't have, necessarily said, it's so much different than this or that. Like, it's a great point but it didn't take off like that a year ago, and it did this time. So
Right.
staying the course and just doing the work. I think it probably did get a couple hundred views, a year ago. And
Right.
So to your entire point, the measurement of success shouldn't be the views. It should be that you're doing it and knowing that those 200 views, if they're your core people, very well are just as valuable as those same 200 when you get 350,000, because they're your core group. But
100%.
great point.
And it's just that one video, just the views were so different on every platform. So TikTok, it was 175,000, which is still great. On my Facebook business page, 400,000, but on Instagram, it was 350. So there, I mean,
So
it
nearly a
fluctuates.
million views. on
Almost
the
a
same-
million views on one, and I'm going to say it was an average video. It wasn't great, but it had to do with a hair tip. But just so nothing's
Yeah.
insignificant.
Yeah.
Like if you bring value and it hits the right audience at the right time, you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble with gray hair. I'm wondering if you have any tips for me.
I do. You'll have to follow me, Buzz.
Well, you also just value, like I am, Buzz can attest to this, am obsessively talking about and trying to get everyone in our company and around me to pay attention to value and understanding what value means. I think a lot of people that struggle look at value through the lens of themselves, as opposed to what is value to your audience, to your customers, to your partners. And again, that kind of, whether not a selfish lens, but kind of just through your own viewpoint, if you can step outside of it and really explore, like, what does value represent to Katie, to Julie, to Buzz, and get consistent at delivering that, eventually something is going to happen, right? Because value is this, kind of universal connector. If you're delivering it at a certain point, someone is going to say, yes, that's valuable to me, and I'll take you up on that. But we get lost sometimes in not actually paying attention to what value is to individuals. So I'm harping on that all the time. Just look through that lens. Like, what's of value? Business is about filling in the void, right? What's the gap? What's the need? And in the networking and social media space, and that's all you're looking for is keep delivering value, and eventually it clicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like with this guy, part of the value was how many times could we beat him up until he put on some new shoes? And look at that, we succeeded. He's got
Wow.
We were at our Christmas party. Kurt and his amazing 35 years in, 35th anniversary for Big Valley. We had our party, and I think that's the last time I saw him wear the shoes, and they were speaking to, as he walked and flapped. So I think that was a perfect send off for the shoes.
I love my shoes. When you get them to feel right, you just hate to part with them.
His shoes
I think it's
legitimately,
great.
Katie, like they were separating from the thing, like flapping.
And super
I'm
glue.
familiar. I have 5 kids, and we do hand-me-downs. So my
super glue
youngest
works perfect for that. Or tape.
Poor tape.
I mean, if they cover your feet,
I had some old leather shoes that I did that because it drove everybody crazy.
Right.
They'd come in and something would be falling off, and I'd go, no problem. I'd go back to my office, literally get some black tape and go around it and come back out, and I'd go, see, they're perfect.
they're like, man, we got to do better over here. Buzz is hurting. We clearly need to do better at our job so Buzz can buy himself some new shoes.
That's it's fun to mess with him, but I have to bring this up because I'm still dying on Thanksgiving. I know we're heading into Christmas now here very closely, and we're having meals. We had a conversation on our Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
And I asked Buzz, so the audience may have seen this, what's the weirdest part of a cow he's ever eaten? And he proceeded to give us a lecture on, or not a lecture, just an explanation on Rocky Mountain oysters. Is that what it's called?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
I know all
Calf
about
fries.
them.
Calf fries.
Calf fries.
So
My dad is a hunter. I'm very familiar with Rocky Mountain oysters. Those were on our dinner table
those were
many times
So you have had
from a buffalo.
from a buffalo.
Yes, he would do a buffalo hunt once a year.
There's a meal.
He had a very as a
So you
avid.
know what they are, Julie?
I don't, but
So
I know my
essentially-
mind is going.
Is this-
So
this is a
it's
public-
It's
a family
the testicles
show?
of the bull.
I figured.
Yeah, so we went. So
Tastes
he
like
said
chicken.
It, he said it, and I was like, I already know the answer that you're about to say. What they are, of course. I probably like you. I was like, I'm pretty sure I know where this is going.
Yeah, but please don't. Don't.
I'm like, so let's go ahead. I want to know.
Funny.
So now I have like curiosity. You already answered that. You're very familiar. What are the Christmas plans from a meal perspective and from a family perspective for you both?
Go ahead.
Mom's coming down to the house and will probably help me cook. That's my plan.
But
I hope,
no-
Mom,
no
if you're
Rocky
listening,
Mountain
I hope
oysters.
that's the plan.
No Rocky Mountain oysters. What,
No, just a simple ham and potatoes. I'm a simple girl.
Now that I am grown, I get to be in charge of my own holiday meals, and my father is no longer allowed to put extravagant things on the dinner table. But growing up, I had some very interesting. Oh, he had so much fun doing, all the exotic types of meats for all of the holiday dinners. Have you heard of a turducken?
Oh yeah.
For Thanksgiving. So he's done that multiple times. Big full pig or boar roasts, things like that. We're just going to have a simple,
I already like your
keep it
dad.
simple.
Where does he live?
He's in the Bay Area. That's where,
Him
grew
and I
up-
should get together.
yeah, he has a
Sounds
lot
like
of fun. He now does mostly deep sea fishing, but growing up, every November he did a buffalo hunt over in Montana, and he would do, overseas sorts of hunting trips too. But he had this philosophy, speaking of the weirdest things that have been on your dinner table, I did not know the podcast was going to go this direction this morning when I came in. This was not the plan.
Have a little fun with it.
But now I'm into the
Sponsored by
oversharing space.
Plaster.
So here we
So
go.
go with
Let's
it,
go. I
Katie.
did my job.
Yeah, so he had a philosophy of you don't hunt just to kill, you hunt to feed your family.
Absolutely.
So my brother, when we were young, shot a squirrel in our backyard with a BB gun, and he needed to make that a lesson. So he made my brother skin it, cook it up, try the squirrel. That was the big, trauma lesson that all of the kids learned. This is how it's stuck in our brains. Well, fast forward years later, we're all in high school, and there are raccoons that continue to get into our trash and are driving my father crazy, dumping over our trash and messing up the
Yep.
yard. So
Trash panda.
he took care of the raccoons one night. And my brother, who is still traumatized from the squirrel
Squirrel's
incident,
not a bad meat.
goes, Dad, you cannot just kill something. We kill things to eat them. So you need to serve up that raccoon on our dinner table. To which my father was a man of his word and skinned up the raccoon. And I have never seen such mangled meat on our dinner table. It was disgusting. I was the only girl in this family. I have 3 brothers. I was a teenage girl, obviously. I had all the dramatics and how horrific and disgusting our family was and how embarrassing this was. But so I did not eat it personally, but my dad and my brothers definitely tried the raccoon and kept good with the philosophy. So that's the most interesting thing we've had on our dinner
that
table.
is-
I don't believe I've ever had raccoon. That's not a.
Most have not. I have not, but so there's my story.
That is awesome. Yeah, what you've had armadillo. Though.
Okay.
I like your dad.
Yeah.
And I like that
You
philosophy.
would like my dad.
That's
You
an
guys are a
amazing-
lot alike.
That is the best philosophy
Yeah.
ever.
He means it.
I grew up hunting, and my brothers and my family, they still all hunt. I lost a lot of the interest in hunting. Matter of fact, I've got a really good friend that when we went to high school, he was a hunter, hunt everything, and he stopped about the same time I did. Now he's an amazing photographer, which I would get into a lot more. Not that I'm against hunting. I just personally, I'm okay with going by the store and picking up something.
Sure.
If the stores were closed, I have no problems with it. I have no problem. I raised cattle to butcher and everything else. I don't have any problems with it. I just lost the personal interest because I no longer wanted to tramps out through the woods and before dawn and kill an animal and then have to dress it, then pack it back out. And it's just a lot easier to go buy McDonald's. And it's like running a marathon. There's Uber everywhere. But I think that hunting is amazing.
Yeah.
And
he used to do these annual mountain man trips. Those were the buffalo trips. So they actually would live, and you had to, everything that you brought had to be from the animals. So like they had elk skin pants and moccasins, and they made their buffalo jackets. So he's got a couple buffalo jackets or buffalo coats. And they lived out there in the snow, and he can't do that anymore. He's, over 70, but I think he wishes that he could. I think those were probably, he would say, some of the best days of his life.
Escapes in life. Yeah.
Like I said, I have no problems with it. And I think we should bring this guy. I met a guy at a KW party. He was with one of the KW agents' boyfriend, and we started talking. Got on the subject of hunting, and he whipped out his phone and started, this was my last African safari, and showing some of his trophies. And I asked the same question. I said, I want to make sure you brought all that meat back. And he says, absolutely. It's been the best.
Yeah.
And but anyway, love to meet your dad sometime.
Sometime we'll make it happen. Everybody loves my
We'll
dad.
get him on the podcast.
Yeah. We've talked about him. He played for the A's for 10 years.
That's right.
Yeah. He's quite the personality. Everybody.
In spite of that team.
Yeah.
In spite of being on the A's.
He has to come on the other
there you go.
He has to come on the Triple J and talk about that.
That's true. Yeah, he was the third baseman for the A's all through the 70s. Retired around 82, 83, I think.
Wow.
Very cool.
So
couldn't get on a good team like the Rangers. Is that what you're saying?
I think
now he doesn't like me, I swear.
I know. Now he's not going to talk to you anymore.
Please. So, heading in, we got a few more minutes to wrap. What's the New Year's resolutions that are brewing? So I would love to kind of pick the New Year's resolution brain. Do we have some? Are we still working on them? Is there something in the works for the New Year's game plan?
Well, for a marketing standpoint, the average, and this is a weird stat, it blew me away. The average listing agent is 64 years old. And I thought to myself, how much is my marketing or the people that I work with marketing geared towards 50 or 64-year-olds? You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like rethinking that strategy, but I'm very, have quantifiable goals for each of my platforms, for revenue, for all of that. And then I put it in front of me and I look at it every day. So I'm hoping next year I hit that. So that's what I've done so far.
That's awesome. I'm tossing over to you, Buzz. You got to go first. I'm thinking.
Thank
Popcorn
you.
Buzz.
Thank you. Phil and I have put together a lot of goals and a lot of plans for Big Valley Mortgage in 2026. All very important as to me, it becomes personal because I'm not sure how many more years I'm going to continue working full time. So the next few years is going to be very important with Phil, and as we do this, next year is pivotal. So we have a lot of really great plans for community events. He already mentioned lots of work. I mean, our most important asset at Big Valley Mortgage is our people, and so we're going to be investing a lot of time and energy into our people and into recruiting. So those are more goals, but from a standpoint of creating New Year's resolutions, one of those is to spend more time with my girl and my son and working on our health. So that's the most important personal thing that I can think of is just being there with those two individuals.
I love that you said that.
Yeah, that's personally,
great, Buzz.
that's what's most important to me.
That's great. That gives me permission to say mine. I didn't want to sound super unprofessional. No, we do have some professional goals. I'm really excited about the podcast. We have another project with Real Producers that I can't super talk about yet, but I'm hoping within next year it launches at some point and we get to bring that to Sacramento and share about that. So those are the professional goals. But I will say I've moved 2 of my 5 kids out of the house now. They're 21 and 19. One's a junior in college. One is already in the workplace and moved to Scottsdale. They're doing phenomenal. I have 3 still at home. It's been this year in particular has been a huge wake up call for me of just how much that has changed. 2 of the 3 that I have at home are twin 16-year-olds. They just got their license. It's a lot quieter in our house already. I'm seeing how quickly that will transition.
Did they get twin cars?
They did not. No, so our rule in our family is that you have to buy your first car. So all on your own. So they start working from like 10, 11, 12. They know it's coming.
Is this a boys, girls, or
all
boy,
of them?
girl?
I have, the twins are 2 boys.
Okay.
So I have 1 girl is my oldest, and then I have 4 boys. So the twins are both boys. They have to buy their own first car, all of them. And then we will help them upgrade when they go off to college or off to independent living with matching whatever else they've saved plus the value of the first car that they bought. So that's our plan. But these 2, well, now I'm off of my resolution and on to 16-year-olds and what they can buy themselves.
That's adventure right there.
Oh my gosh. Well, what we're quickly learning is that when you make a teenager buy their own car, they don't have a whole lot of money to buy it. So they usually buy a lemon. And then there's all these car troubles that then become my husband's problem to deal with. And he's all, I just shot myself in the foot. I might as well have just bought them something that wasn't going to give me any more trouble. So one of the 16-year-olds bought himself a retired police vehicle.
Okay.
Because he thought that would be awesome. They're awesome cars, but it's, he got it off of a auction down in San Jose, found the back seat off of eBay to install himself, found a center console, but it still had the lights, it was awesome.
That's cool.
But it didn't drive it already
They
totaled
put a whole
within
bunch of miles on those cars.
I know. So it just blew up.
What'd the
very
other one
quickly.
get?
The other one is doesn't care about cool, just wants functionality. And he had the opportunity to buy a Prius from my brother-in-law that he had been using for commuting because he's a firefighter down in Richmond and was, changing out cars. So he bought that for $1,500 and was like, it's great. I don't have to pay a lot in gas. It'll work. I'll drive it around. So anyway.
So these twins, they have
personalities.
2 different personalities.
They
Isn't
do.
that funny?
Very different.
Are they identical twins?
No.
Like they don't look alike?
Totally fraternal.
Okay.
They look probably more different than any of the rest of the 5. But anyway, to wrap it back around, I'm just very aware of how quickly life is changing, how quiet the house will be soon. With our 3 left in the home, it's so fun. I love having teenage children, so that we've got the twin 16-year-olds and the 13-year-old. I just love this stage of parenting so much. I don't wish for the little years again. I love this age, and I just know how fleeting it is.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm
so
trying to be
fast.
super present. It's like a resolution for the next 2 years that I have the twins, and then I guess I got 4.5, 5 years left with the 13-year-old. But yeah, trying to be really present and enjoy them and put first things first because I'm going to miss it when they're all gone.
I have to say that I agree with that fully. I have a freshman, and I slip of the tongue, but I also agree there's also teenage shit. So
Yeah.
on top of that, but mine, like yours, it's creating experiences this year. I really want to go through and create as many memorable experiences with my 8, 10, and 14-year-old, doing things that are unique for each of them, like special whether it's a concerts, games, walks, whatever's that, and then whole family experiences, like just a lot of my existence as a father and provider oftentimes feels like it comes in those experiences, like the trip that we take, or where you get to shut down and you're not working and you get to really be fully present. So mine is, I want to have a list of, a half a dozen experiences for our family that are really intended to be those memories that they take with them off to college, into their, and a equal number of one-on-one, with each, where it's father son, father daughter. So that's been my resolution. I've been brainstorming up ideas left and right, trying to figure out what can I convince my 14-year-old to go do with me. So it's got to be cool, type of stuff. So that's my
concerts.
I love
it. That's on the concerts. Been looking, and trips, and
it's the older, and I'm probably the oldest here. The older you get, and not to be morbid, but the more friends that you see with either extreme health issues or pass away, the more that happens, and it happens, and it's what all of us go through. Our parents, when I talk to my dad, it's like, all of my friends are gone, and that type of stuff. So you start really thinking about it, and you start looking back. You go, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've been walking in and out that door for the last 16 or 17 years. And you start thinking about what is really the most important thing, above everything else. And it's your relationship with your spouse or your partner. It's the bond that you have with your children. I'm so lucky because my son is sitting not more than 40 feet away in a desk working, and I get to see him all the time now. And you start thinking about what's more important, work, which extremely important because that's how you build a life. But then what you do with that, being with your spouse, making sure that everyone's healthy and happy, and it's something I think about a lot.
Yeah.
As you get older, it becomes a more central theme. Absolutely.
I'm sure.
Because you don't think about it when you're younger.
Yeah.
And, someone passed away or some smash you in the head, you're sad, but you move on. But then when you start going, wow, what's the average lifespan? It's like, damn. Okay, I better go do that bucket. Bucket list. So anyway, that's as the years become shorter, those are the things that I start thinking a lot about.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially, this is a great time of year to be thinking about that, thoughtful about it as, people are gathering and getting together.
Reflecting on the priorities, reflecting on, I think the wins and the losses, the successes, the failures, the things that you are grateful for, slowing down and taking a moment, no doubt. Love the topic too. So before we wrap here, any final tips, Julie? You got a pro tip, and then I want to let Mr. Howard give us an update on the mortgage front too.
I'm just gonna go back to just be consistent and keep your videos short and add value and be authentic for 2026.
Love it.
Be authentic.
Be authentic.
Get all your Texas slang out here.
Wow.
Mr.
Be
Howard
authentic.
on the update. Wednesday
and Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So this week we've seen the market. Actually, we had 4 or 5 straight days of market improvement. A little bit better interest rates. Kind of a weird week. We saw the BLS report, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Hadn't been able to get that report for the last couple of months because of the government shutdown. And what we got was October and November, and employment numbers were really weak, really weak. We also got the CPI number, which was also delayed. So we've got October and November. CPI is more of a look at inflation. It's one of the Fed's favorites, but not their absolute favorite, but one of the Fed's favorite reports on inflation. And inflation is cooling, is much closer to the Fed target rate. So those are all really bond-friendly items. So we've seen improvements the last 4 or 5 business days. So interest rates are ending the week better. I'm not going to say a lot better, but better than what we started and what we experienced the previous week or two before that. So we hope that momentum will carry into next week. Next week is a really short week. The market will be closed half of a day Wednesday. Obviously closed on Christmas, back open on Friday, but you know that most of the traders will take those long weekends. Then we have another truncated type of week following right on that heel with New Year's. So we usually get, believe it or not, the last 4, 5, 6 years, you see a stock market rally into the last usually 4 or 5 business days into the first couple of business days of the year. Stock market rallies are typically not great for bonds, but lately they've both been rallying. So if you listen to KFBK, that's kind of where we're entering for the next 2 weeks. This weird time of not a lot of financial news. Next week is basically durable goods, and that's all we get. So I really think that we're going to trade sideways, flat interest rates till we get into the new year and see the exactly what momentum we have. So I think we're going to be really strong. Actually, we're having a very, very strong December.
Great.
So we hope that carries into January and February, which are typically really slow.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Love that.
100% right. And this is the time I'd say to home buyers, if you're out and you're engaging right now, this is the best time to be active. You have a much better competitive environment as a home buyer than you do in the spring and summertime.
Sure.
So we see that all the time. Katie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for announcing what we're very excited about launching. So we will be, let's do another shot. What are we going to call Beyond the Pages?
Beyond the Pages, Real Producers podcast coming out January 2026.
That is a great name. Who came up with that name?
Oh gosh, yours truly. No,
that is.
It's always been in my head. I don't even know.
That is a great name.
Great name.
Yeah, Beyond the Pages.
Yes.
That will be January. We're excited to be able to collaborate with you on that. And again, thank you so much for being here, for sharing insights, for getting personal with us. And no thank you for validating the whole Rocky Mountain Oysters conversation with Buzz. But
we got to try a raccoon.
Yes, raccoon. Yeah, I want to know in the comments, is anybody else eating a raccoon? Because that's a new one.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And looking forward to seeing you here very, very soon for our first recording. And with that, thank you, Julie, once again for all you do. And I'm glad we got a chance to give you your flowers on the show here.
Thank you.
Them.
Appreciate that.
Buzz, thank you for putting on a new pair of shoes. I really appreciate that.
They're beautiful.
They are. They'll do it. So, and with that, that's a wrap for today. Another episode of the Blitz Break. I'm your host, Phil Rasmussen, and for our guest, Katie MacDiarmid, Julie Shroyer, and Buzz Howard and myself, we're out. We hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.